All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to break down some seriously effective study techniques, all based on a fantastic guide from the University of Otago. And look, this isn't about studying harder, it's about learning smarter. So, does this look familiar? You're juggling lectures, stacks of reading, assignments piling up, maybe even a part time job? It is a lot. If you've ever felt like you're just trying to keep your head above water, trust me, you are definitely not alone. And that feeling, right there, that brings us to the core challenge every single student faces. It's not just about getting through all the material, it's about what you actually do with it. And that leads to this huge difference. Think about it. Are you stuck in surface learning, where you might recognize something on a page, but you can't really explain it or use it? Or are you going for deep learning? That's where you're actively wrestling with the material, connecting ideas, so you can truly understand and remember it later. That's the goal. And that's exactly what we're going to get into today. It all starts right here. Seriously, before you try any fancy note-taking or reading tricks, you have to get a handle on your time. This is the bedrock, the foundation that makes everything else actually possible. The guide suggests this brilliant three-level approach. First up, you've got the semester plan. This is your big picture view. Get a calendar and map out everything, every deadline, every single test. And here's the game changer. Write down how much each thing is worth. A 40% essay should get way more of your focus than a 5% quiz, right? Then you zoom in to the weekly plan. Every Sunday, look at your big plan and break down the coming week into smaller, bite-sized tasks. And finally, you have the daily plan. Each morning, just list a few specific, doable goals. Don't just write study for history. No, write find 3 sources for history paper. See the difference? That's how you build momentum and actually get things done. Okay, so once your time is organized, let's move on to one of the most basic study activities, taking notes. But we're going to make them way smarter. This right here, this is a huge mindset shift. So often we think our job in a lecture is just to be a court reporter, to write down every single word. But the real goal is to listen, to think, and to process the information as it's coming in. It's an active job, not a passive one. So how do you do that? Well, one of the best frameworks out there is called the Cornell system. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful way to structure your notes so you're forced to learn actively. And this is exactly how it works. See? During the lecture, you're taking your regular notes in that big main column on the right. But here's the magic. After the lecture, you go back and use that skinny column on the left to pull out key ideas, questions, and big concepts. Then at the very bottom, you write a 1 or 2 sentence summary of that entire page. This forces you to review and digest your notes almost right away, which is absolutely massive for remembering things. It's like a built-in study session that strengthens the connections in your brain, making the information actually stick. Next up, let's talk about that mountain of reading we all face. And just like with note-taking, the key is to stop being passive and start being active. I'm sure we've all been here, right? You get to the bottom of a page and have absolutely no idea what you just read. The amount of reading is overwhelming, you can't tell what's important, and nothing seems to sink in. These are totally universal problems. And here is the solution. Stop thinking about reading as just letting your eyes scan words on a page. The essence of good reading is thinking. You have to go into every text with a clear mission, a purpose for what you want to get out of it. So how can you do that without spending all night on one chapter? Try this amazing strategy. First, read the introduction and the conclusion. That right there gives you the main argument. Then go back to the beginning and read only the first sentence of every single paragraph. This gives you a perfect skeleton, a map of the entire text. Only then, once you have the map, do you go back and read for all the juicy details. This way you're never lost. All right, this is where it all comes together. Your time management, your active notes, your purposeful reading, it all leads to this moment, conquering those exams. This advice from a student is just pure gold. Doing old practice exams is one of the best forms of active revision there is. It's not about memorizing answers, it's about actually applying what you know and, maybe more importantly, finding out what you don't know before it's too late. It's like a full dress rehearsal for your brain. And here's another fantastic tool for exam prep, especially if you're a visual person: concept mapping. Instead of just rereading your notes in a straight line, a concept map forces you to organize everything visually. You start to see the connections between different ideas, and you have to actively recall information to build the map. It's such a powerful way to pull everything you've learned together. So, if you only take one single thing away from all this, let it be this. From how you plan your time, to how you read, to how you study for an exam, the secret is always active engagement. Don't just be a sponge. Think, question, connect, and create. That is the real path to deep, long-lasting learning.
And that brings us to the end. But the real question is, what are you going to do with this? Will you try mapping out your semester, give the Cornell system a shot, or maybe try plotting the message in a tough reading? Just think about it. Pick one thing you'll try this week, because turning this knowledge into action, well, that's the final and most important step.